everyone, welcome to this video. I hope that you are ready to bake something delicious because in this video we are going to be making a peach cobbler. And I love fruit-based desserts. They are healthy. You can make them as sweet or not as sweet as you want, and you can actually use whatever fruit that you would like in this recipe. So I originally created this recipe using a frozen berry mix, but since it's peach season right now, it's the end of July, I thought let's make it using peaches. These are from the local farm. They're so delicious and juicy. My name is Mallory if you're new with Black Rifle Homestead, and I post videos about our life as a military family who is homesteading as well. Make sure to subscribe and join our little family on here. So I have all of my ingredients laid out. All right, so here's the ingredients. So we have our peaches. I have 4 large peaches. I have a couple more in the fridge in case I need more, but we'll see if this is enough. Just by the way, also, I am not, when I do recipes, I'm not super strict about amounts. And since this is not like a baked good that requires things to rise and that kind of stuff, you can really play around with the ratios of things. And then we have some baking powder, gluten-free flour, rolled oats, coconut flakes, our spices like nutmeg, ginger, and cinnamon. And we have organic cane sugar right here, melted coconut oil, and then we have our 8x8 baking sheet or baking pan, a knife, cutting board. The only thing that I am missing that I would recommend that you put into this recipe are chopped walnuts or chopped pecans, like whatever your favorite nut is. That is what I usually also make or have as an ingredient for the topping. So since I don't have walnuts or pecans right now, I'm just going to use extra coconut flakes. But if you're not a fan of nuts, you don't have to use them. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to slice up our peaches. I don't peel my peaches or, take the skins off. Now these are pretty easy to take the skins off, as you can see. You can actually just kind of pull them right off, but that's just an extra step, and we don't have the time for that, do we? You're probably a busy mom watching this. Maybe you're trying to think up a easy dessert to bring to a party, or just because, who doesn't love dessert? And then I'm taking any soft spots off. I think at least one of these got thrown down by my toddler, so it might be a little bruised, but that's okay because it's gonna be cooked. Oh, the other thing is go preheat your oven right now to 350. So I'm gonna go do that. I am going to see if these are enough peaches. I've cut out 3 to put in my 8x8 baking dish. That's pretty good. I'm gonna chop up like half of the 4th peach and just see. All right, so I didn't use that entire peach. It's starting to feel a little bit mealy, but again, it's gonna be cooked, so it doesn't matter as much. So, okay, so however many peaches it takes, fill your 8x8 pan up to, like 3/4 of the way full, because you do want some space on the top for your topping. Okay, so now it depends on how sweet you want your dessert to be. You can either just leave it like this. You could put some fruit juice in there. You could drizzle some honey, or you could just use your cane sugar that you already have for the topping and just sprinkle a little bit into the peaches just to give it a slight bit of sweetness. Because the majority of the more sugary sweet will be on the topping. And then this dessert is amazing with whipped cream, like fresh whipped cream that you make yourself, or vanilla ice cream. I know you guys can't see my face with showing my hands so close, but I think this might be better because then, like on the tripod, you guys are so far away. And let me know in the comments below if you like this up close and personal, just like seeing my hands and seeing the ingredients. Let me know if you like this. Okay, you're going to need a medium-sized bowl. So I have this Pyrex dish here. Okay, first we're going to add the rolled oats. These oats I'm using, if you saw in the description, this recipe is gluten and dairy-free. And if you want to make it gluten-free, you need to use certified gluten-free rolled oats. And so I'm putting in 3/4 of a cup, but we might add a little more. Like I said, I am not exact on measurements. So here I have gluten-free baking flour. This is Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1. It is my favorite. It's already ready to go. If you're not gluten-free, you can use wheat flour, all-purpose, whatever. So I'm gonna add that to the bowl there. I don't think baking soda is totally necessary, but just because there is flour in here, you can add like a teaspoon of not baking soda, baking powder. Add baking powder to this just to make it rise just a little bit. I think I'm gonna add another 1/4 cup of rolled oats. So now we have 1 cup of rolled oats in there. Then we have our cane sugar, or organic cane sugar. You could also use coconut sugar. That's what I used originally when I developed this recipe, and I used 3/4 of a cup of coconut sugar. But since this is cane sugar, it's a little more sweet than coconut sugar, so I'm just going to use 1/2 cup of cane sugar. Then I'm going to use, now normally I would just use about 1/2 cup of, sorry, this was honey that I bought in Germany, so ignore that. 1/2 cup of coconut flakes, but since, like I said, I don't have those walnuts or pecans, you could even do both. I'm gonna do, let's do it 1 cup. We'll just see how that works out. And I get my coconut flakes in bulk from Azure Standard. It's a great price. I bought 5 pounds and it's lasted me months now. Okay, so now let's just mix up these ingredients. So we have the rolled oats and flour, baking powder, and organic cane sugar, and coconut flakes. So we have those combined, and now we're going to add our spices, or yeah, spices, not herbs, spices. All right, so cinnamon, this is what I get it from Costco, the Saigon cinnamon, great price. And let's see, let's do at least a teaspoon, but like, you know, with spices, you can just like wing it. So if you like extra cinnamony, you can do some extra cinnamon. Oops. Then we're gonna add some ginger, and not as much, but we can do a sprinkle. It's kind of clumpy. All right, and then just a little bit of nutmeg, just like a pinch or whatever. I just wing it when it comes to these things. Oh, also add a little bit of salt. Here's the salt I use. I use Redmond sea salt. Do a couple, you know, you want to balance out the sweetness with a little bit of salt. Let's stir up our spices into the mix. Now, the key to getting a nice crispy topping is using some kind of melted fat, all right? So in order to keep this dairy free, I use melted coconut oil, but you could use ghee or butter. Butter would be amazing. About a 1/4 cup, but I might need to melt some more because this is a lot of topping. But basically you want to moisten all of the topping. Yeah, we need more. We want to moisten all of the topping and get it coated with that fat, with that melted fat, so that when it bakes, then it can like crisp up everything, and it's so good. Okay, yeah, this is still, if you see, to me, this is still a little dry. Like, it's getting distributed pretty well, but like I said, that was about a quarter cup. It was just like a scant quarter cup. I did 3 tablespoons. So I think I'm gonna do 1 more tablespoon and that should be good. Okay, it's mostly melted. It's a little bit thick. Okay, so now this should be enough. Oops. I'm also very messy when I cook and bake, so you guys can see my crumbs that I spill there. And it's okay. So that's 4 tablespoons of coconut oil, but everything seems to be pretty well coated. So now we are almost done. This is so easy. So take your pan of peaches, and all you're gonna do is just put it on the top. This is so much easier than a pie. And I think more tasty, really, because you get all these different ingredients. Whereas with the pie, it's just the crust, it's just the dough, but you're getting coconut and oats, and if you have the nuts, and you have the spices in the topping. So that's it, you guys. And we are pretty much at the top of the pan, and there's the middle. So it's ready for the oven. Have your oven set at 375, and we are going to do 25 minutes at 375, and we'll be back in 25 minutes. Ooh, yeah. Look at that. That looks really good. Look at how some of the coconut is getting crispy. That looks done to me. We don't want it to go any longer because then it would start getting burnt.